this is it. Both fighters know exactly what's at stake, and what's at stake is bragging rights, it's legacy. You know, both fighters' careers have been amazing. They've both been great ambassadors for British boxing. Amir Khan, from a 17-year-old kid, getting a silver medal at the Olympics. What does he do? He goes and fights the gold medalist, Mario Kindelin, on ITV in front of the world. The world watched him get that silver medal. Then they watched him beat the gold medalist. Then turns pro, has a fantastic career. You know, 2 weight world champions. He fought 11 world champions, you know, beating 7 of those. He fights, he fears no man. He got in there with Canelo Alvarez, who's the light heavyweight world champion, the #1 in light heavyweight. He's #1 super middleweight. This is the type of guys that Amir Khan has been jumping in. Both have got in there with Crawford. Both fighters lost against Crawford, but that's it. If you look at Amir Khan's record over the last 9 years, they're the only 2 fighters he's lost against. That's a very, very impressive record. You know, this young man, he's not young anymore, he's 35. He's 35 now, has been fighting the very best from start to finish, and is so great that both fighters pushed their egos to the side and got a deal done. They did it for the fans. They're doing it for the love of the sport. They're doing it for themselves, and the teams are so important for me. Having Dominic Ingle in his corner for this one, you know, it was very unsettling watching Kell Brook fight Crawford. It was a massive uphill struggle, but to take the uphill struggle without the main man in your corner, Dominic, without him having him in your corner, the guy who knows you, the guy's known you since you was a kid. You know, he knows your emotions. He knows when you're doing good. He knows when you're doing bad. He knows when you're feeling sorry for yourself. He gets it, and he wasn't there in the corner. You know, I'm sure there was so many things that Dominic would have said possibly to, you know, change the outcome of the fight. Things happen the way they happen. He's got his main man back, you know, to the point where Dominic Ingle is that into this fight. He's that much wanting his man to win. He drank his sweat. He wrung his t-shirt out into a pint glass, and his coach drank it. That's how connected he is with this fight. It's a bit much for me, but listen, there are not many coaches that do that. Maybe, you know, it can only mean one thing. He lives and breathes this fight. He lives and breathes this fight to the point where he's drinking the sweat because he wants it as much as Amir wants. He knows what's at stake. He knows what it means, and he's willing to go. He's willing to do whatever is needed to be for his man to get the victory. I love to see it. You know, I saw what Dominic did against Hamzan Shiraz when he had Bradley Skeet. You know, I thought that was a very, very tough fight for Bradley. I didn't see him having, you know, that much success at all. I thought he was way past his best days, and I thought Hamzan was just going to completely control it. But with a strategy, with a master in your corner giving you the perfect instructions, he was bossing the fight, and things happen the way they happen in boxing. But even the way that he pulled out Bradley Skeet showed me it was a touch of class, and I think Brook having Dominic in his corner now will give him all of the advantages he's missed in recent fights, and Brook is going to be as good as Brook is ever going to be, and I'm excited for the fight. I know Amir Khan also is in a different scenario. He's training with McIntyre, who is Terence Crawford's coach. He's been sparring with Crawford. He's been sparring very well against Crawford. You know, Crawford has said, you know, he was shocked. He was shocked at how much he has improved, and we're going to get to see this on Saturday night live on the Sky Box Office. You know, I also, something else I know about Amir Khan. I've always been a little disappointed between fights with Amir Khan. Come fight night in training camp, you know, I had Ruben Tabarez was Amir Khan's strength and conditioning coach for a few years, and I know when training camp started, Amir Khan gives 100%. He's there. He's trained alongside Manny Pacquiao, some of the best fighters in the world, sparring tough rounds, grueling rounds. He puts it in. It's between fights that I think that a lot of his, a few of his losses may have been a result of. You know, he used to blow up between fights, putting on, you know, between 20 and what looked to be 50 pounds between fights. it was shocking how big he actually got at some stages. That isn't the case anymore. He realizes he's a 35-year-old man. You know, maybe you can get away with that when you're mid-20s, early 20s, you know, but when you're 35, you have to pay the price, you have to live the life. And that's what he's done over the last year. He's known this fight's been brewing. So what has he done? You know, he's teamed up with a few people I've worked with over the years and who, with great success, and who know and understand, you know, strength and condition, understand nutrition, understand how to get the human body to the best possible place it can be. And Amir Khan, you know, he's brought in Mazza Majid, you know, and, you know, in terms of the holistic side of it, making sure his home life's calm, home life's comfortable, his nutrition's right, he's eating the right things, making sure he goes to bed on time, silly things like that. Controlling those elements for a year brings the very best out in someone, and that is the person who's going to be stepping in the ring on Saturday night. That's never been the case. He's never had this much consistent training, this much consistent goodness, this consistent healthy living, healthy lifestyle. Both fighters are going to be as good as they can possibly be. This is going to be down to who is the better boxer. Can Kell Brook get past Amir Khan's jab, that thunderous jab? It's so quick, so fast. It's bamboozled some of the best fighters on the planet. You know, Canelo was struggling with that jab for a while. You know, even Crawford, you know, he was struggling to get round with it after that first round. If Amir Khan can get into that rhythm with a jab, if he can touch those eye sockets, you know, those well documented damaged eye sockets from Kell Brook, they could be consideration in this fight. Does Amir Khan have the power to rupture an eye socket, left or right? Both of them have had issues. You know, I'm of the opinion, if I had a gun to my head, I'd go with the opposite of what the bookies are saying. The bookies are saying Kell Brook. I'd say I've never seen Amir Khan lived a life for a year like he has done, and as a result, I believe this will be the best Amir Khan. I believe he wins this fight on a points decision. If somehow the eye sockets get ruptured, either one of them, I believe there'll be a stoppage victory for Amir Khan. I think the only way Amir Khan loses this fight and Kell Brook wins is if it turns into a shootout and Kell Brook catches him coming in. Like, whilst it's a long range boxing match, I've never really seen Amir Khan outboxed, and it takes a hell of a fight to close the range. You're going to have to take a few shots to get inside with Amir Khan, as his hand speed is blurring from time to time. And do not miss this fight. It's Saturday night. We've got the fight we've all wanted for many years. And good luck to both fighters. They put it on the line. Both got great coaches, and it's a must-see fight. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Sky Box Office.